Okay, for anyone who hasn't talked to me, my name is Kosuke Hayes. I've been in the business for about 10 to 11 months. Before I started working here, though, I worked at a restaurant. I was a real estate agent, and to be honest, I didn't really like it. Restaurant, you're just slaving away to get paid horribly. You're just getting paid tips, how other people think of you, and then real estate, I think it just takes too long to get paid. You got to show them the house, you got to sell them the house, whatever. But I found this through Keem, and my first couple months, I was not that good. I was not very confident on the phone. I wasn't, anything like that. So. But as time went on, and I think my turning point on when I started taking this seriously was when I went to the convention in January. And then when you go to these events, and that's something that I want to point out for any new agent, is when you go to these events, you're going to see people who are doing better than you, who are actually successful in this business. And I think that's what's going to flip your mindset on, let me take this serious, let me give it a try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think that's very important. Now, when it comes to agent fundamentals and what I think is important as a new rep, if you're in your first month, your first 2 months, I think all of these are very important. But you guys have probably heard this one, 20, 30, 40 times, but it's going to be your schedule every time. You gotta show up early, 8, 9 a.m., and then you're going to leave around 8, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. if you're really grinding. And And I think that's so important because if you have a bulletproof schedule, this job, it's all just a law of large numbers. If you put in the work, if you put in the dials, you're almost guaranteed the money. You know what I mean? But next fundamental I'm gonna say is probably intention with your time. So you can have a great schedule. You can be working 9 to 9, but when you're here, are you actually dialing? Are you actually sitting there on the phone? Are you dialing for 1 hour and then you're talking and then you're dialing for 1 hour, you're going to eat, stuff like that. Then it's your mind's everywhere. You know what I mean? You need to be when you're here, you're locked on the close. If I haven't closed, I'm gonna keep sitting here. I'm gonna keep dialing the phone until I close somebody. That's how you'll be successful. And I think that was important too. But also, I'm gonna say when it comes to the phone and it comes to being successful, on closing deals, as much you want to do. If you want to write 30,000, if you want to write 40,000, 50,000, the first thing is to be assumptive because when you're on the phone, if you're like, okay, well, do you want to cover a burial or do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? You're not going to close them. Maybe every once in a while, if they really want insurance and you call them and they're like, yeah, I've been waiting for this call, you get a little lay down. But besides that, if you're like, hey, were we looking to do this? No, it's okay. You were looking to do this. Okay. Okay, you were looking to cover a mortgage. No, okay, you were just looking to leave a legacy. You're already assuming what they want, and when you do that, you're gonna close. These people are gonna be, oh yeah, I did want to do that. Because especially if you're working volume leads, I don't know, I know that a lot of people work in variety of some people are working high intent, some people work in volume. But if you're working volume leads, not everybody knows it's insurance, so you gotta call them, assume they want insurance. A lot of them do need insurance and they don't even know it, plant that seed in their brain. Let's say, for example, if I don't close them, my downline's going to close them because I planted the seed in their brain that they need some insurance. And then by the time he hits them, it's a laydown. They're like, yeah, here's my account number. Um, next thing I would say is besides assumptive is to be confident because when I first started, I was definitely not confident on the phone. What I mean? My first 1 to 2 to 3 months, I was only closing one every 4, every 5 days. But then I think with confidence, you just have to fake it until you make it because these people can't tell the difference between fake confidence and real confidence. If you're on the phone and you're assertive, and you're saying, hey, Steve, I'm calling you for this. They're going to listen to you. They don't know the difference. So you just fake the confidence until you have the confidence, and then it's easy. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. You just gotta fake it till you make it. I think be clear because majority of the people we speak to, unless you're working IUL leads or some younger lead, they're all old. So be very clear with the words you say. Be slow. Really read the script and try not to sound like a robot, but be slow, be clear. I think that's very important too. Also, when you're speaking to people on the phone, I think it's really good to be a good listener. And if you want to build a good why, you need to actually listen to their situation, listen to what they have going on, and that's going to be able to be how you can transform these people to letting them know, hey, I need insurance, and building that, that why and why they want it. Another fundamental I would say is to be organized. When I first started this business, I would close somebody and I'll throw them in a close tracker, but I wouldn't put the effective date. I wouldn't put the carrier. It'd just be like straight off the lead sheet, name, phone number, date of birth. And it was like the worst close tracker you could have. You know what I mean? So, and then I realized I'm like, man, I didn't get paid here. Where was this guy at? I'm just lost on where these people were. So I think it's very important when you have a close tracker, put their name, put their phone number, put all that basic stuff, but then put the carrier, put the effective date, put if they paid or not, if it's lapsed or not. I think all that's very important. Santos, he just said something. He's the one who actually helped me too. Recently, he showed me his close tracker. So if any of y'all need that, hit him up for that. Um, but lastly, I'm gonna say, and this one's the most important, especially for new agents, is gonna be coachability and also learning over earning. If you are new, I think even if you did sales before this and you're new, I think it's very important to always have an open mind on I can be better, I can do something different. Just having that coachability of, okay, this guy's doing 50K a month. Let me go ask him, let me see what he's doing, and then, just replicating it. I think this is a blueprint system. I think that's why we have the name. It's just if someone's doing well, you copy them and you're gonna do well. I think it's very simple, and also joining the training videos, the YouTube videos, and then watching them, especially if you guys know about Ronnie Salem, the Philly team, watch their videos. They have some dogs over there, 100K a month, 40K a month. Um, there's a bunch of different FFL agencies. You can just watch people and most people do telesales, just see what they're doing and replicate it. I think that'll help, especially if you're struggling somewhere in the script or you're struggling somewhere, just with tone or whatnot, just ask somebody. And I think that'll help too. But my biggest accomplishments as an agent, just to throw this out, is, I've wrote 30, 40K a month. And this month, currently week 3, I'm at like 30. So I'm pushing for 35,000, 35,000. I think that'd be pretty cool. But at this point, I'm gonna open it up to questions. I think it's pretty simple. If you want to be successful, they have the saying of this job is very, it's not hard, it's not easy, but it's just simple. You're just gonna come in, you're gonna put the time in, you're gonna put the dials in with intention. You're gonna call these people with confidence, be assumptive, be clear, and read the script. And you're destined, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. Um, but I'm gonna open it up for questions. Anybody who has a question, over anything, just hit me up and I'm happy to help you.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Yeah, what's up?
Um, like, cause I've heard you dial a lot, bro. And what would you say, keeps you calm and keeps you monotone and just keep on going without, getting budged by the clients,
So so I
even
was
whenever
actually
you're getting
talking
cooked
this.
as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I actually was talking to, I don't remember who it was in the office, but they're like, man, you've never cussed out someone on the phone. I'm like, no. Why would you do that? Because, bro, like you got to understand, let's say you get cooked one day. These people might realize they need insurance in a couple of days. Why would you cuss them out? Then you're just losing them forever, right? So that's the mindset I keep of let me be nice. You know what I mean? Be like, hey, if you don't want it, call me back. I'm happy to help you. Just stay monotone the whole time. Realize that this is a numbers game. That if you're dialing volume, they're not all going to want insurance. You're going to get screamed at. So just having that mindset of these are volume leads, I'm just going to keep being assumptive. This guy needs it, this guy needs it, this guy needs it. And then just keeping that level head, I think is very important. Especially too, because if you get mad and you're screaming, the next guy that you call, he's just going to naturally hear it in the tone. Like they can hear that stuff through the tone, the energy and everything. So I think that's why I try to keep monotone.
Oh,
Also, you
no,
don't want to
okay.
sound like you're selling people. You know what I mean? You don't. I try to
Yeah,
stay monotone, just try to sound like a DMV worker, a doctor. You've heard all the different terms of what you should sound like. Just keeping it with that and never losing people.
my guy. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Kosuke. What are
Yes,
some
sir.
standards that you set for yourself and ABC Financial?
Yes, sir. So recently I've been really trying to get locked down on my schedule of let me get my wins early because if you go gym early, if you've already eaten, you've already showered, you've done all these things, you're fully awake. By the time you come here at 9 a.m., you're ready to rip the phones. You know what I mean? That's something I've been really setting as my schedule because I notice if I wake up, 30 minutes before I come in, my first like 50 dials are just they're not as good, because I'm half awake. I'm sitting there trying to wake up, trying to get my tone down. But if I'm gym, I've already gotten my blood flowing, I'm confident. Come in at 9 a.m., I'm already ripping these people. Like they just woke up, they're like, hello? I'm just screaming at them, Steven! You know what I mean? And then I'm just getting their attention. And for ABC, I try to just tell Cam everything that I do. He's been doing very well. He's Cam and Maddie. They've been both doing very well. They're about to get on lead spin, but just having a good schedule, being intentional. Everything I've said on here, I think those are just the key things. Is just show up, put in the dials, put in the numbers, bro. And I swear that's it. You'll get better as time goes. It's as easy as that. But yeah,
Appreciate
that's it.
it.
That's it. Yes, sir. Anybody else have questions?
Kosuke, I had a
Good.
question.
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
I don't know if this one was asked already, but your tonality is really great on the phones, I've noticed. Is that something that you worked on and like perfected and like because bro, you have a great phone voice. Like and I
I
noticed
appreciate it.
it switches a little bit from like how you normally talk, but it's not a
It
whole lot.
does. Yeah. Yeah. So when I first started, I was not very confident. I was not very anything, and I heard somewhere in a video or something because I would watch hella videos on like how to be better on the phone, all this. They're like,
Yeah.
bro, like this don't even treat it like I can't even explain it. Like, don't even treat it like it's yourself on the phone. Like you're just somebody else.
Yeah.
You're just
Mhm.
there to help these people, and that's kind of where I get that tone on the phone is.
Yeah.
You just don't even treat it like it's yourself. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to
No,
explain, but
that's
I just try
fire.
to be, very monotone, very confident,
Mhm.
and just keeping it very simple for these people of just, hey, you send something into me, I'm the one to help you. I try not to sound like I'm selling them. I notice if
Yeah.
there's some days I can't always keep that perfect tone. I have a good one, but I notice sometimes I stray away a little bit.
Did you
I try
notice
not.
when you fixed your tonality, did you notice a difference in your closing?
Yeah, yeah,
Like when you got
100%.
a lot
And
more
I think
confidence?
I think it wasn't like a switch like that, like boom, like I was just magic closing more. Like it was just like I slowly got better with it, and I was trying to perfect a very like calm, like chill, loud, confident kind of voice.
Mhm.
Um, but I noticed if I go higher pitch and I'm like really happy to talk to people, because sometimes I'm in a good mood on the phone. I'm just chilling. I'm
Yeah.
happy to be talking to these people, and I'm
Yeah.
talking very, very happy and whatnot. And they don't like that. I'm gonna be honest. These old
Yeah.
people do not like the nice tone and you're just trying to because it sounds like you're selling them. So you just gotta be very just chill, monotone, assertive because I work veterans. So
Yeah.
I call them like, hey, you sent this in. I'm the one to sit here and help you, get this coverage and that I think that's what it is.
Makes sense, bro. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, bro.
Hey, Coach K, this is kind of like two questions in one. I remember talking to you like when I first started, and you was like, it was like I think like 4 months in for you or something like that. You basically told me
Mhm.
like you dialed free leads for like 2, 3 months before you ever bought any,
Mhm.
and that just changed my whole perspective. I thought like I was supposed to be buying them way sooner. Is there
Mhm.
anything that you would tell yourself then when I was talking to you, anything different that you would have told yourself or that you would have told me then?
So to kind of touch
So
on
to
the
kind of touch on
the buying leads, for the first 2 to 3 months, or waiting 2 to 3 months to buy leads, I wish I would have bought them way sooner, to be honest. I was like I'm one of those guys where I just really wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about. I had the money in the bank, I had a full months of lead spend plus an extra, a little bit for like rent and everything because I rent a house. And I wanted to consistently be closing, one deal a day or one every other day just to know that I knew what I was talking about. So that's why I waited so long. I wish I would have bought him, after the first month because throwing yourself in that uncomfortable situation of I put money in, I need to close, I think it helps you grow a lot faster. But if I was to tell myself something when I was giving you that advice was just bro, just keep working hard. We're about to be in the last month of the year, boys. So we just got to all just keep slamming the phones. You know what I mean? Let's end the year strong and set the pace for January because you want to January next year. I'm trying to go for Hall of Fame 400,000. I hope that's all your guys' goal too. That's a good ass goal to have. So that's the plan. I think that's the advice I would have given myself. And for anyone who hasn't bought leads, once you see a little bit of money, bro, buy leads because that's when your business is really gonna rocket. It's when you start buying
I
leads.
got a I got a question as well for you, and it kind of has to do with the leads. Whenever you bought leads for the first time, would you say there was kind of like a mindset switch, or would you say it kind of like made you more confident because you were investing in your business, or what would you say was like the biggest thing that you knew was like, okay, I'm ready to buy leads?
So when I knew I was ready was when I was consistently closing, or at least pretty consistently closing on old leads. Like you're not going to be super consistent, like one or two every day. If you are, then I would 100% get on leads ASAP. But if you're closing one every day or one every other day, you should be buying leads. Like you can close, you might as well buy leads. But my mindset when I bought leads was, okay, I've put 1,500 in, or I put 1,000 in, how much you end up buying. You just need to try to get the biggest ROI as possible. You want to try to 10x, 15x. That's a mindset of I'm gonna be confident. I'm gonna really work these people on volume. If you're gonna go volume, I would recommend slamming these people like 15x, 18x, 21x if you're really trying to, because that's when, like, I noticed when I was doing the best on volume was when I was really hitting these people, and you're gonna find someone on the 15x, they're gonna pick up, yeah, exactly. I wanted insurance. Yeah, yeah. And then they're gonna lay down. But you had to call them 15 times for you to get that one. So really working when you buy leads, really working the leads and being intentional on every call, asking all the questions, and when they're cooked, bro. Just don't call them again. Throw them to your downline.
So would you say it's like a whole different like ball game than free leads? Like, would you say it's a completely different, or I mean, it's the same? I mean,
I'm
because
gonna be
essentially you're
honest.
talking the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It's the same people, bro. It's the same people. I think the main thing when you start buying leads is you're just not gonna hear I've been called a 50 times, 100 times. That's the main one you're not gonna hear. You're gonna actually have time. Like these people, they're all like the vets and the old people. They're all like fried. They're all like one group of just fried people. But when you start calling, when you start calling these new leads, you're just not gonna. These people are gonna actually let you speak. They're gonna actually let you. Yeah, fried but fresh. That's perfectly put. They're gonna actually let you talk to them and actually let you give the time. And they're like, okay, you're calling me for this. And you're like, yes, you sent this in. Boom. Breaking through their situation. I think that's the main difference. And you'll get some laydowns. You'll get a couple people who are like, yeah, that's exactly why I filled it out. I think that's the main
I
difference.
appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yep. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mr. Hayes, when would you recommend someone to start buying leads? Like how many weeks in, how much money they have saved up? When do you
Yes,
think's the
sir.
best time?
So what I was told two different things by two different people. So one I was talking to Shane. I'm sure most of y'all know Shane. He told me to get 10,000 in the bank, buy 2,000 worth of leads every week. That's what he told me, and that's what initially I was going to do, which I think that's still great advice, but I wanted to buy them a little bit sooner. What I would recommend when you should buy leads is either first when you're closing consistent, you're very confident in yourself. I know what I'm doing. And that does not take that long, maybe a week or two of I know the process, I know what I need to do. Or second, if you have the money in your bank account to buy a full month of leads, if you can, let's say if you start bare minimum, if you do 800, if you have 3,200 in the bank and maybe another, let's just say you have 4,000 in the bank as a little bit of extra wiggle room at the end, you can do a full month of leads. That's when I would start because you can kind of get the full month and see how much. If I put 800 in every week this month, I know, I might get this return. And then you're kind of get a gauge. You're going to get some deposits from that month. And then maybe next month you're like, that wasn't enough leads, which is kind of what happened to me is I started with 1,000 a week and I did a full month. I wanted to keep it pretty consistent. And then I was like, man, I want more leads. I want to close more. So then I went up to 1,500. So you kind of get that gauge, but once you know you have a full month of leads that you can buy, then I would buy them. And then if you don't, but you're very confident in yourself to buy leads and you want to really just get there as fast as possible, then I'll just start buying them now. That's what I would say. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, sir, Key.
So I was wondering, bro, because like you said, your first 2, 3 months you were struggling. You probably didn't deposit more than like 10, 15K in all those 3 months. What really
Mhm.
kept you going, bro? Like, why didn't you just quit and give up on yourself?
Yeah, so those first couple months, first I knew that I wasn't putting in the right activity. So if you're not putting in the right activity, you can't expect those results. If you're working 9 to 9, or wait, if you're working 9 to 5, you're gonna get paid like you're 9 to 5. If you're working 9 to 9, you're gonna get paid like you're 9 to 9. You know what I mean? And I was slacking those first couple months, and I realized like, man, I see Keem doing well, I see Mo Bush doing well, Mar doing well. You're like, what am I doing? And it's as simple as I wasn't putting enough work, I wasn't intentional, and I think it just comes down to being a man for all the minute here. Like, okay, you're having a bad day, be a man about it. Whatever, on to the next day. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. If I'm gonna stick this out, I'm gonna give this a try. If it truly doesn't work, and I think 90 days is the point of let me see if this works. And for me, my 90 days, I wasn't serious. So I was like, I'm gonna go far, I'm gonna go even more. But if you're doing 90 days right off the rip and you're putting in all the work possible, you're doing every single thing you know you should be doing, and you're still not succeeding, then maybe you should leave. But if you're not doing the work, then you gotta give it more time. But I knew that from all the jobs I've been in real estate, I've been in the restaurant, I've been in a couple different jobs. This is the best job I've ever found. So I don't plan on leaving anytime soon.
Let's go, Teagan. I'm glad you didn't quit, bro. Keep going. You're gonna have a fat team.
So that's my
Proud of
upline.
you,
Let's
bro.
go.
Keep growing. The key.
All right. Any other questions?
Kosuke, what's your schedule looking like day to day, week to week?
Okay. So right now, the schedule I'm trying to uphold, and I still like Thanksgiving came, so I strayed a little bit. I was with family a lot, but I try to wake up at 6 to 6:30. That's kind of my time because when you work 9 to 9, you're gonna get home at 10. You're gonna eat. You're gonna chill for a second. So I think 6 is kind of my good time. But I think if you wake up at 5, I think that's better. Um, Wake up at 6. I try to go gym. I'm on a split push pull leg, whatever. Just get the gym in, get the mindset right, come home, shower, eat, and come to office and just rip the phones, bro. That's pretty much it. If I try to always post too by the end of the night, so I'll eat lunch, I'll call, and then I'll try to get a post out around 8 to 9 p.m. every night. And if the next day, if I have a recruiting call lined up, if I have someone hit me up, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'll try to set up a call during lunchtime the next day or after work. You never want to do something during your dialing hours. I try to protect that time as much as possible. If it's something very serious, then maybe I do it real quick, but simple gym, get the wins early, wake up in the morning, dial, lunch, dial, recruiting video. Boom. That's my schedule right now.
I kind of have one question that relates to that one that you just said.
Hmm.
What kind of like standards throughout the day that like you hold for yourself to make sure that you are like following exactly like what you should be doing to get the dials in or to get or like the goal that you want throughout the week? Like what kind of
Hmm.
like things do you write down in front of you? Like if I don't do this, then I'm not doing it right or something like that.
Hmm. So some days I'll have a timer on my phone, which I heard this, I think at a convention or somewhere, but sit there and time yourself when you dial, like have a clock going of I'm sitting here strictly just boom, 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 dialing. Like you're not talking, you're not doing anything, just strictly dialing. And then you can kind of measure yourself on, okay, I've done 8 hours straight of dialing and I've closed this many people or got this many presentations, and then each day trying to up your dials. Another thing too, and I'm gonna show you all this app real quick. It's actually really nice. There's this app called Tally, and y'all can see this is from some random day. I guess I never reset it, but it's app called Tally, Tally. If you get this app, you could just throw some tallies in here, and I have one for dials, one for presentations, one for pickups, one for closes, and then you can throw in some objections too. Like I already have coverage and all these places where you've lost people. It's kind of like the if y'all have ever seen that little tracker sheet, the blueprint one we had for a little bit. It's like that, but it's easier and you can reset it every day, so you don't got to waste a bunch of paper. But this app is very clean. I did this for a little bit. It just really helps you see track your numbers to the fullest and see how much dials. Like I'll show you, for example, this day I had 372 dials, two presentations, 28 pickups, one close, two I already had coverage. That's some day in the past that I had. Um, so I think that's very important. And another thing too, you got to try to set non-negotiables. So okay, I'm gonna close one a day. I'm gonna close one a day, or I'm gonna do. I try to aim for three. I think if you aim for a bigger number of I'm gonna go for three today, then you're gonna just naturally gonna close one and then try to push for three. I think that's kind of my mindset there. But 3 day, go for a little hat trick every day, I think is a good goal to have.
Appreciate it, bro. And then also one more question. Objection wise, do you write them down and do you like practice them overnight or like how do you kind of like get better at objections over time? Because I know people still mess up even though they read it through and then they go
Mhm.
on the next call and then eventually something messes up between them reading the objection back.
Yeah, so with objections, there was one day where I was writing every single objection I got down on a sheet of paper. And I'm not even I ran out of space. I had so many objections. Um, what I would say for objections is just keep it very simple. Whenever you're giving someone a pushback or you're rebuttaling what they say, is just keep it very simple of, read what's on the script. There's like a couple pushbacks. Like let's say for example, you get a social objection. I completely understand it's just for your medical records. Go ahead with your social. Keep it very simple first time. Second time, you're like, yep, it's also the only number on your death certificate. It's just very simple. And then the third time, I think, when handling objections is when you can explain a little bit more of, yes, I've been the one assigned to you to help you protect your burial. The social is how we're going to get your medical records and make sure you're sent through and you're taken care of. Something like that. That's when you can kind of explain a little bit more. But objections, I would say just keep it very simple and also if you see somebody who's writing 40, 50,000 a month, ask them, for example, like you said at the end of the night or something, or if you're on lunch or you're near them talking to them at some point, just like, hey, I got cooked here. I keep getting cooked on. I already have coverage. I keep getting cooked at this part. What do I say? What should I say? Or what do you say? And then just copy what they say. If you don't like it, because everybody in this job, everybody's gonna have a different closing style of how they close. Like I'm more of a chill closer. I try to keep it very monotone. Shane, he screams at people. There's different levels of how you close, but I think just it's like a puzzle piece. You're gonna get something from somebody, you get something from somebody, and then you just make your own puzzle. That's how I look at it.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any other questions? I feel like I went through the fundamentals too fast. It's only 9:30. Hopefully y'all got it.
Nah, that was straight heat.
Let's go.
Nah.
Pretty
Hey,
quick,
I got a
quick,
question,
easy.
Teagan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so when I first started in like my first month, that was kind of like I believe the month that you hit your first 25K, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, after that month, I didn't really see you too much in the office. And then, next thing you know, you still kept going, kept dialing. What made you keep
Mm-hmm.
dialing after that first month of hitting 25K?
Yeah, this is the thing is you could do really good and you could have a good month, but like, bro, it's natural to first have chargebacks. You're gonna naturally have chargebacks. Second, if you're not consistent, your money's not consistent, you're not gonna pay the bills. I know some of y'all live with your mom, and if you do, and you got no bills, I would exploit that to the maximum potential of I don't got to pay anything each month. I'm gonna stack my bread as much as possible. But bro, you just gotta it's just consistency of keep working. There's some days I stray a little bit, but just bro, consistency. Try to hit the numbers to get your comp up. I think getting your comp up is very important. If you can get to I have the grid right here. If you get to like 105, 110, bro, like you make more money on every sale. You have a bigger spread on your downlines. Why are you not pushing for that? So having goals to set, have goals to set. Um, and just you just gotta keep working, bro. You can't stop working. Even if you have a good month, because it's easy to get content in this business and you're gonna get deposited 15, 20,000. You're gonna have good months, but it's like you gotta realize I gotta keep writing because you gotta just see the bigger picture of why you started and why you wanna not be on the phone anymore in a couple years. Nobody wants to dial the phones forever, so gotta keep working. Let's go. Anybody else?
I got one more question, but it kind of has to do with recruiting. What's
What's
kind of
up?
like the standards and what's kind of the like your pitch to somebody that you want to bring in the business or somebody that wants to join the business who hit you up?
So the system I've been going by, I think when I first started recruiting, I was doing too much. I think I was over explaining. It's easy to like someone will ask you something, you start breaking stuff down. But now someone hits me up, okay, what had you looking at opportunity? It's the first question I ask them, like, what had you looking into the opportunity? Getting their answer if that's going to gauge on if they're serious or not, if they really want to do something with this business. And then from there, setting up a call. I got all this stuff from Amar. I think you can see he's built a massive team, so he knows what he's doing. Setting up a call and just don't really talk too much about the business. Just ask them about themselves. It's like the same as like closing someone, like building the why on why they want to join the business. So you're just asking them like, hey, what are you doing right now? Just talk to them normal. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing for work? Do you like it? What had you looking into this? And then kind of just building that why. From there, I try to send them a business overview. I have a video of Zach Turdowski, but I think it's good if you end up making your own video of a business overview, which I think there's a couple formats. If you want to ask someone, I think Amar has one, Joey Connolly has one, a couple people have it. But making your own video to send these people like this is what the business is, this is what you need to do, this is how you're successful. And then from there, setting up a second call. And also something I saw is at the end of the video, you can say something like, if you watch this through, text me, text me watched, something like that at the very end of your video. So you know who truly watched it, who truly didn't. Because some of these people be like, yeah, I watched the video. You send them a 30-minute video 5 minutes ago, they finished it in 10 minutes. Tell me how that makes sense. These people are like, they're not very smart. Um, so just making sure they watch it, make sure they're actually serious, and then from there, when you know they're serious, that's when you get them in, and you set that standard of like when Cam came in, I tried to just tell him, bro, like you see what I'm doing, he sees what Austin's doing, everybody's doing, just come in here, put the numbers in your first 90 days, and bro, that's it's simple as that. From there, your business is gonna take off. But yeah, let me know. I started rambling a little bit, so let me know if I answered all your questions.
No, that was great. Appreciate it, bro.
Okay, bet. Any other questions? All right, guys. Well, this meeting was pretty quick and easy. It's the first day of December. It's the last month of the year. Mahmood just told me before this meeting that we've broken records the last 2 months. So let's keep going strong. Let's destroy the phones. Yeah, let me see what I can do for that. Let's destroy the phones for the last month here, and then next year let's start on a heater. Before I go, I'm gonna try to get this in here. Hold on. Uh, see. Let me see.
Hey, Kosuke, what was that app called that you track your dials?
It is it's Tally. So it's Tally.
Okay, appreciate it.
Let me see if I can find. Yo, Mood, you still in here? Mood might be get to it faster.
Yeah.
Yo, brother, man.
Hey, can you send
Was that the VA that you're talking about?
the little business overview videos that Amal and Joey have made? You know how they made their own for the
Yeah.
recruits? Can you get to those?
Yeah, I got you.
Can't find them. And just put them in the chat for these people.
Yes, sir.
TA or stints in the last 5 years.
Send that boy way
Let's
closer.
go, boys.
Now, any stints in the last
We're gonna go crazy, boys. We're gonna go crazy today.
Y'all have a great day, boys.
All right, I found it. Let me put it in the chat.
Any
Found it?
Yeah. There you go.
Let's go.
Any high blood pressure?
All right, yellow boys, let's turn it up.
Let's go. Hey, are we having a morning meeting, 10 a.m.?
Of course.
I got you.
All right,
And
bet.
then any breathing
Let's run it.
complications?
Let's go. I'll see y'all. It was an honor.